Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Rayron VR, your Ice Dragon. Got another manga spotlight video for you today. This is Sleepy Princess in the Demon Castle. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got here. This is by Viz Media, rated T14. Let's go ahead and look at our little explanation in the back here to see what we're getting ourselves into. Alright, so kidnapped by the Demon King and imprisoned in his castle, Princess Silas is bored. She decides to while away the hours by sleeping, but getting a good night's rest turns out to be a lot of hard work. She begins by fashioning a DIY pillow out of the fur of her teddy demon guards of an air mattress from the magical shield of the wind. The princess, hapless demonic guards soon discover that their captive expects to be treated like, well, a princess. Things go from bad to worse for her captors when some other princess Silas's schemes end in her untimely, if temporary, demise, and she chooses the forbidden Gamora for her bedtime reading. So, this is quite an interesting manga, to say the least. So before we get into it, and we'll be talking about some spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, feel free to watch this video at a later time. But with that being said, let's go ahead and look at the table of contents here. This particular manga, the author has decided to use the table of contents chapters as nights. So you got the first night, second night, third night. So the amount of nights that she's at this particular demon castle, the Demon King castle. So you can see there are 13 particular chapters in this manga. And so let's go ahead and dive right into it. So this particular manga is interesting. The best way I can describe it is that think about if you ever played Nintendo and Super Mario Brothers. This is what happens if Princess Peach was bored at Bowser's castle. Now, the reason why I say that is because this particular princess, let's just say not on the bright side from what I can gather. This Princess Silas, who was kidnapped by the Demon King. And so this manga has one particular lineage type of story trope. Basically, she's like a spoiled little brat, like I guess the typical trope is when it comes to princesses, that they get treated like royalty, so they think they're going to be treated with respect and essentially spoiled. But each one of these particular nights or chapters of this manga is basically a first world problem. So I'm going to get into a couple of these. I'm not going to go through all of them because, to be honest, it got kind of repetitive. So I'm just going to do a couple just to give you guys an idea of what this kind of manga is. And I did a little bit of research on this manga, and it's like there are 20 volumes of this manga, and it's like I don't understand how they're going to be able to keep the same storytelling through all 20 mangas. I'm actually curious to see what the next one has, because by the end of the last chapter, it's like, okay, what first world problem does she have this time? So, the first one is that she had an issue with her pillow. Her pillow wasn't finessed enough for her to get a good night's rest. So we go on a quest within the Demon King's castle. And basically, I don't know how she does it, but she's smart enough to look at these monsters and get the stuff that she needs. So for the first kind of quest to get her perfect pillow, she goes and finds these teddy demon bears, and she realizes that she brushes teddy bears, she can get the stuffings from them, and then make this particular pillow. That's how absurd this manga is. Is that she's smart enough to outwit all of these demons in the castle just to have a good night's rest. You would think she would try to escape, but no. And that's pretty much the formula. The next one was like she has an issue trying to sleep because the monsters are so noisy. So what does she do? She goes out and finds a coffin to sleep in. Um, One thing this book does that I don't necessarily agree with from a storytelling perspective is that, and I understand this is a fantasy realm and they've got mages and so forth, but um, this princess is also very clumsy when she tries to go out and take care of her first world problems. She finds herself in a little bit of a bind. She's very naive. You know, it's the very stereotypical generalization of a princess. And so it's like when she wants to find a good place to sleep, she unexpectedly sleeps upon these particular mushrooms, which are poisonous. So, needless to say, she dies from the poison. However, in this particular demon castle, there's a mage, or I think either mage or priest, I can't remember. But this particular mage, sorcerer, whatever, was able to resurrect our princess. So there's no threat of death when it comes to this character, that she can just basically respawn and then she's still a hostage. She's still going on her merry way to have a good night's sleep. I don't like that because there's no stakes for this character. It's hard to get connected with this character of the needy princess is what I'm going to call her. But anyways, it's interesting. Let's see what else here. And then kind of just some bizarre things like when she tries to sleep, you know, she wakes up and she realizes, oh, I got stiff shoulders. And so she just is able to escape her little cell and is able to walk around the castle and finds this electric dragon that is kind of caged up. And then she realizes, well, can't necessarily touch that. I gotta find something that allows me to get shocked by this dragon so it can give me, you know, the electrotherapy to deal with her stiffened shoulders. So what does she do? There's a convenient monster that's basically the tire man from like Michelin tires or something, and she's able to get into said tire monster and was able to be like shielded enough because of the rubber that she's able to get a shock, but not too much that'll kill her. Yeah. And so for 13 chapters, that's essentially what this volume is all about. You know, you've got this princess that is trying to sleep well while still trying to be in captivity. And it gets bizarre. It's definitely a comedy driven series, from what I can tell from this particular volume, that you would think that being in a demon castle of a demon king, you would have these epic monsters that would be able to contain this princess, and nope. She's able to escape. She's able to get the things that she needs to have a good night's sleep. And then it's like, she's so dumb, for the lack of a better phrase, that she's able to escape the castle, walk outside of the castle. Clearly, she can just walk on home if she was smart enough, but one of the quests was that, oh, she needs like better lighting in her captive environment, and so she goes out and finds this sword that glows, which is apparently one of the quest items that the heroes need to get to her to save her. But she's able to get set sword and use it as a nightlight for a captive area. So I don't know if the author is genius or just crazy, but this volume is just comedy from start to finish. I was laughing and just stunned of just how nuts this manga is completely. So, but yeah, it was definitely funny. But for the most part, the trope is that, you know, first world problems. She's trying to make herself comfortable in this captive state, and it's just, I'm curious how they're gonna be able to draw this out for 20 volumes. So I want to keep my eyes open for the next volume of this, just to see what they're going to do, because they're going to have to do something with the next volume to make it more interesting, to drag me more into it. Because right now, you know, it's just there's only one linear storytelling, and that is first world problem with the princess, then she has to find set monster, and then come back to her solution. And that's just rinse, recycle, repeat from volumes 1, or from chapters, was it 13 chapters of this particular volume? Yeah, 13 chapters, or nights as they call it, as the author writes it. So they need to do something, especially since now that they've kind of eliminated the stake of death for a particular character, there needs to be something else involved. Because otherwise they're going to lose me, and it's going to bore me if they try to continue that for 20 volumes. So I think having 13 scenarios like that in this volume 1, it can get dragged out. But no issues with the illustration. The panels are great. As you can see here, give you just a quick sample. This is when she needed to deal with her stiffened shoulders. And she finds the electric dragon here. But then she realizes that it could potentially kill her. Well, I should say, yeah, could be deadly. And then here is our Michelin Man tires. The tire demon. And so she gets a smart idea that she's going to go inside set tire demon and basically make one of those rubber cages to isolate the attack and deal with the electricity so it doesn't kill her. But again, killing's not a big stake here because they got the mage that is able to resurrect / respawn. So yeah, it is the best I can say is that it is a fantasy comedy. So if you're into that type of thing, quirkiness, very straightforward storytelling, then this manga is definitely for you. I'll give it, like I said, I'll give it the 3-volume rule. If it continues to go down the same trope for 3 volumes, then I'll bow out. But other than that, that is my quick spotlight of the Sleepy Princess in a Demon Castle manga. With that, guys, feel free to recommend any other mangas you think I should take a look at for the Spotlight series. Feel free to leave a comment down below, like the video, and I'll see you on the next one.